Hi everyone, today we are in a new episode of Breaking the Myth, and we know that there has been a lot of different things and transformation going on in the US, so that's why I decided to go with the US now. And I have two people from the US that will help us to break the myth about that country, and I'll just let them introduce themselves.
Hi, my name is Robert Rushing. I grew up in Florida, moved to Hawaii. I've spent a lot of time living around the southeast of the United States, and I've had the opportunity to live in some of the bigger cities. Like I've lived in Boston as well as Los Angeles, and spent a good bit of time in DC. Got a pretty good understanding of what life is like in other parts of this giant country.
My name is Khalil. I'm a military brat myself, meaning that my parents were in the military, so I had the opportunity to move around a lot, just like Robert did. Moved from Philadelphia to down to the south in Florida, all the way to the west coast, Arizona, and then that's where I'm residing at now.
Okay, thank you so much for coming, guys. And the first question I would like to ask you, I know most of people know that your main language is English, right? But the thing here is, what is your second language? Because usually we think it might be Spanish or it could be French somewhere. I think there's a lot of doubts about it.
Well, as you know, the country is big and it's very different depending on what part you're in. There's a lot of places where Spanish has a really big presence, and there's places where it has no presence. So, for example, a place like Miami in the south of Florida speaks primarily Spanish, while there's a lot of other places that don't even know a word of Spanish.
Okay. How about, for example, the North? It's mainly English, right? For example, New York or those kind of places?
Yeah, it's mostly English. What's a big difference from different geographical places is the accent that you can hear change. Everyone speaks the same language, but you can kind of hear where they're from in the country based on what state they come from almost.
I had never been able to really hear different accents in English. In Spanish, for me, it's pretty clear, but not in English. Maybe from different countries, yes, but not from different states. And the second question is, what kind of food do you eat there? Because we were discussing before about the junk food and this kind of things. What is your favorite meal, for example?
Well, yeah, I mean, junk food's definitely a thing in America. Don't get that twisted. But yeah, I guess most people's favorite meal in America would be, I guess, like a big juicy burger or like pizza. American pizza would be a big favorite. For me personally, I enjoy just a big chicken dinner, chicken breast or something like that. Greens on the side, macaroni. I like soul food a lot too. So,
And is there like different kind of food depending on where you are in the US? Because in Mexico there's like crazy difference between what you eat in Tijuana to what you eat in Puebla and what you eat in Quintana Roo, right?
Absolutely. So, like I said, I'm living in Arizona right now, so it's heavily influenced by the southern border of Mexico, right? So, in Tucson, Arizona, all you'll see is Mexican food everywhere. You walk outside the clubs and you got taco trucks. They bring a taco truck to my work every day. So, it's heavily influenced by Mexican food. Whereas if you were to go to the south, you'll find things like soul food, things like that, fried chicken, macaroni, things like that.
And for example, is there any myth you would like to break about the US?
If there was a myth that I had to break, I would say there's a big perception that all Americans are fat, right? That obesity is a huge problem in America, and it is. I will say it's definitely an issue. But I also feel like there's a very high percentage of people in America that consider their health and consider their weight a lot more than maybe they even should.
The hyper healthy.
Exactly, the extra healthy people. It's a very aesthetically based area, of the world. So a lot of people care about the way that they look. They care about like muscles, their teeth being shiny, and that comes with the obesity thing. They want to be thin, kind of that hourglass frame for females, and then the big pecs and nice legs for guys. So.
I would like to try to break a myth with you. Like they usually, or people think that Americans are in a way arrogant. And I'm gonna give like two short examples. For example, when you go to get a visa or something, and you find out and you are with the police, you are praying so you get the nice guy police, because if you have the bad police, like he will never give me the visa, right? And the other one is I don't think sometimes you care about learning another language beside English because it's like, yeah, it's English. It should be spoken all around the world, right?
I'll go ahead and address the language thing. I would say that, you know, in other countries, America being a superpower in the world, in other countries they automatically speak English. You know, I've been to Dubai, and in Dubai they speak English all the way across the world. You know, it was my first time out there, and I knew that I would be okay just because I spoke English, right? And I feel like most people in America have that same mindset that no matter what country they go to, they don't have to worry about what language they speak because they know that it's already spoken there. It's a primary language in most countries. It's the language of business, I would say.
So you think the myth would be like people in America maybe don't try as hard to learn other languages as someone from another country who might feel more obligated to? That, I mean, it definitely happens, but on the other hand, there are a ton of people that do learn other languages.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, there are people who are, I mean, I have interest in language myself, you know, for sure, but I can just say that, you know, like they teach, in other countries, from my understanding, they'll teach English, you know, from the time that you're a child, and then they'll raise you up on English, to know English at least, to understand it, just so that you have opportunities in other parts of the world. In America, we learn Spanish primarily, or at least in the area that I came from, and they teach us Spanish only in high school for 2 years minimum. You know, you can do it for 4 years, but nobody really cares to. There aren't very many people who care to cultivate their language skills like that. I would say it's a niche thing.
Mm-hmm. So there's definitely some truth there to that myth. So yeah, I want to talk about the American arrogance and breaking that myth. And I want to do that kind of to compare and contrast maybe what a personality type is from America versus someone from the UK. And I think British people kind of view Americans as oddly optimistic. And I think maybe our view of British people might be oddly pessimistic. And I think that might spawn from the different types of government that we came from. So for example, Americans were told from day one that you can work your way up and get the American dream and do whatever you want in life. And to a big extent, that's true. While on the other hand, in the UK, you can't work your way up to being like Queen Elizabeth, for example.
Right.
It's a royalty thing, and you can definitely in both countries make an amazing life for yourself and just pick yourself up. But I think the stereotype there is Americans are they were told from day one that you can be whatever you want to be.
And I think that's something that you don't see just in your country. I mean, for example, the Mexicans, like, yeah, I want to go to the US and I want to break myself in the US, right? I want to pursue this dream. And the last question, guys, what is the thing you're most proud about your country?
Well, just like you said, the American dream, I love that that's a thing. I love that that's a phrase. I like the fact that there is so much opportunity in America, and everybody in the world, you know, it's recognized widely in the world, I'll say. I love the opportunity that's available it feels like that's available to everybody in America, to every class, no matter what your background is. You feel like you at least have a chance, which I don't feel like that's at least not portrayed to Americans about every other country, I would say.
I think what I'm most proud about is similarly something that's not as talked about or brought up about, but the overseas relief that we give to a lot of countries and stability that we can help in maybe somewhere that's war-torn, just the presence and hopefully helping the entire world become a safer and better place. I feel like that's what I'm super proud about, that we can provide that kind of stability.
So what about the myth that every Saturday or Sunday it's barbecue day with beers and football?
Definitely, every
That's
Sunday.
true for sure. That's not even a myth.
Okay, we cannot break fact here, so... Well, thank you so much. Is there anything you would like to add or say something?
Nah, I mean, I don't have anything personally.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, guys.
Yeah, thanks for your time.
Thank you, and thanks, Robert. And see you next time.